Okay, I was online. I'm always online. What am I saying? I was online. I'm always online. I was watching a video by Kelly Maddox. She has a lot of information on how to learn the tarot, and she has a lot of information about tarot. And she's pretty pretty well known. Has a lot of subscribers to her YouTube channel. Her name is Kelly Maddox, Maddox. I don't know if her website is, or if her YouTube site is called something else, but she has a great website. Especially if she has all kinds of classes, all kinds. She's very generous in sharing how she learned tarot and a lot of topics about tarot. So I happened to come across one of her videos. I don't know how I came across it, but she has so many, but I just happened to, serendipitously, I guess, found this one video that she talked about pathways and becoming connected to the cards through doing pathway work. And I never heard of that, and I was wondering what that was. And it's quite interesting, and I wanted to share that because I'm going to do it myself. And I was thinking about a particular card, and this is going to be a very short video, but it's this one here. Oops. I started thinking about the tarot, and I started about, the images that we have, like specifically in the Rider-Waite. And she talked about meditation and getting into the card through meditation, which made sense to me. But what you do is you kind of, or you don't really have to meditate. You could meditate, or you could just go into the card. And it's kind of like going inside the card with this person here. This is the Two of Wands. The beginning wands to me are very sort of repetitive and sort of uninteresting. I mean, wands are fire. Wands are it's a fire suit. It's an active suit. And the wands to me, no, the early wands, the later ones are more active. But the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands, even the Four of Wands, they're sort of, they're not very active. And I was thinking about that. So I started thinking about doing some pathway work with the wand suit, the early wand suits. And this particular one is the Two of Wands. Now, what I started doing was I closed my eyes and just imagined what it was to be in this card with this guy here, and if indeed it was as boring as it looks. And then I realized, wait a minute, if I put myself in this card, how boring is it? Now, when you put yourself in a card, this is just, I only did this once, but I'm sharing it now. Okay, so you're putting yourself in this card. So where are you? You're like almost in like on the Greek islands or something. And if you can imagine, just using your imagination, going into the card and feeling the salty air, this little hint of salt on your tongue, feeling maybe a slight breeze blowing, and you're standing on a beautiful patio, a terrace, and you're looking out into the water. You're looking out into this open sea, and you're there, and you're holding the globe in your hand. And I mean, you could become this person, or you could stand next to this person. You can ask the person question. You can go into this person's head. And so then I realized when I did that, I realized if I slipped into this guy's head, it wasn't so passive anymore. It was very active. This gentleman here is looking out to the sea. He's in this beautiful land, and he has an idea. And the idea is expressed in that globe. And he is in the moment looking out into the sea, but he's thinking deep thoughts. I'm not sure if he's thinking deep thoughts, but it's not as passive as it looks. So what you can do is you can go into a card and kind of relive the card as yourself or as this person. You can talk to this person You can, and the other thing is to try to make it as vivid as possible in your mind. Now, since I have meditated over the years. I do a lot of meditation. I do that a lot. I imagine a lot of things when I meditate. There's all kinds of ways of meditating. And so when I went in here and it was just the Two of Wands, which means a choice, I guess, a duality. And, those are the key words. But when you put yourself in the card, and think about the wand energy, the inspiration energy, and the fire energy of the wands. How does this relate to what you already know about the card? And if you put yourself in there, try to get a feeling, a sensation, a realization, an understanding of this card just from your own ability to get into the card itself. So now I don't see it as passive anymore. I see this man thinking bigger thoughts. He's excited about a new idea. I see this globe as something some people interpret as the world. I see it as like an idea, a big idea, because this is the wand suit. And he's excited and he's in a good place, and he's going to feed those thoughts so something will come to fruition. And just the imagination of the environment of being on a Greek island and the wind, a soft wind blowing, and the being immersed in this environment, and how that could then be read when this card is pulled up. Now we know there's duality and there's choice involved from the numbers, but you can get a lot more out of it by imagining being in the picture, either as yourself or as this person. I thought that was really interesting, and it'd be a fun way of learning the tarot, and a fun way of coming up with other nuances of the cards. So I think it's kind of brilliant, and I just wanted to share my thoughts about that with you because I found it pretty remarkable. You could do it for any card as well. In fact, afterwards, I was thinking about, and it's all about you. It's all about how you think. It's not about how anyone else thinks. And I did think later, I was doing the same thing with another card. People may be shocked about this one, but when I first looked at the deck, before I even knew what a deck was, I mean, it was this, my first Rider-Waite look at the deck, which was probably 6 months ago, there was one card that I really liked. And since then, I've come through a lot of, my thoughts about the card have changed. They've become, I don't know, just different. And I wonder if I passed it. No, great. If I'd passed it, then here's the one. The High Priestess. That was a favorite card when I first looked at my deck, and I didn't know what it meant, and I learned it meant hidden knowledge. And so I was getting into this card. I was thinking about this card yesterday, and I was thinking, it's kind of impervious. She's kind of like, she's very standoffish. I kind of like the fact that she was, it's a hidden knowledge. It's a woman, maybe a sentry of the intuition, and she's guarding people. She doesn't want you necessarily in. And then I started thinking, she's kind of cold and kind of removed. And then I thought about that she's kind of like Mother Teresa. And now Mother Teresa, for most people, is a wonderful thing. Now, I am not that crazy about Mother Teresa for a lot of reasons. And so then I started feeling a little like, standoffish about the High Priestess. Now, what that leads to is that I think when you go into a card like this and you start thinking about, who this person is, or you maybe talk to the person, or you put yourself sitting in that same position looking out, there's so many ways of doing it that you'll probably go through many, many different feelings and different thoughts about this card. So right now it's kind of like my Mother Teresa card, which for me is not the best card because I think Mother Teresa, well, it doesn't matter what I think about Mother Teresa. So, so I want to work some more with this card and go into it more, use it more in meditation, and develop a more of a relationship with this card and look at all the nuances. So I was thinking about these two cards, and those are my thoughts. So I don't know. I think I would try it. I mean, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it with more cards, and so when the card comes up in a reading, it'll be much more fuller. You'll be able to draw from so much more than just, okay, this is a decision he has to make, and he has an idea, or this is about hidden knowledge. If you get yourself into the card, you'll be able to, have a lot more to draw from when you're doing a reading. Well, that's it. I'm using this Rider-Waite. It still smells, I don't know. It still smells a little bit, but not as much. It smells more like soap now, so that's good. Have a great day.